Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Breakdown on the Undisputed channel, featuring myself, Tony, the Pugilist Boy, and my special guest,
Dani.
Fightfantvlive Live's own Dani Glover. What's going on, Dan, with the triple left hook? Aight?
Come on. Yeah,
How you
all
doing,
good, man.
champ?
All good, man. And yourself, champ? How's it going?
Yeah. As you know, today is the Earth Strong.
Yes, so everybody, I want you to show some love and wish Mr. Pugilist Boy another happy Earth Day birthday. You can show him some appreciation in hitting that like button first and foremost. You know what I mean? If you want to drop something on the super chat for him as well, you know what I mean, as a birthday gift, that would be recommended as well. You know what I mean? So how's your day? How's your birthday been though?
Yeah, it's been calm, my bro. It's been really calm. Really, it's one of them that you don't really celebrate. I'm not really a big celebrator of birthdays anyway. So unless it's got an O on the end of it, I don't generally celebrate it. So I'm about another 4 years before I got another O birthday. So,
Yeah, I hear that.
thank you very much for that. Without further delay, let me get into the chat and introduce the people them. Now, I'm not sure if I've actually got the full chat of who came in when. So give me a second here.
Shout out to everyone who's inside already and been in early doors. 1 second, guys. Let me just get my little light on.
Right, so I'm missing out a few names, but I managed to catch it on my phone. So first in the house was Philip Answer. Big up to you, Philip. How you doing? Happy New Year to you as well. Still running joke with them ones, yeah? Alexander the Great. Big up to you, Alexander. Untraceable in the house. The regulars, big up to yourself. Joe Blackman. Big up to you, Joe. North Bank Bren. Big up my fellow Gooner. Jam Down 187. Star Fox WR45, big up to you. Yasmin Malik, love to see you, Yasmin, as always. Dan the Man, the hardest working man, big up to you. Al Kuya, welcome again. G-Chain in the house, my guy. Chris Collymore. And I believe Jam Down 187 is here without MC Tasty, big up. Ellis Palmer, big up Ellis. Terry Smith, name I haven't seen before, but
That's
big up
my
to you,
guy.
Terry.
Big up Terror. Big up Terror. Yeah.
Big up to you. As you can see, we've come coordinated today. Yeah, so what we're going to do, because there's not really a great deal of content for us to cover by way of boxing, because it was kind of a quiet weekend. In fact, the two main events were both non-title or non-big title anyway, 10 rounders. So there's not really a great deal of boxing to cover. So we're just going to mash it up and chat it up and, talk about our time out in Saudi. So if you guys have got any questions about the previous weekend where both Dani and I were out in Saudi watching the 5v5, then please do put them in the chat. Let me see if there are any points so far that I have missed that we need to attend to straight and foremost. Hope everyone's blessed. Lovely. I can get beaten up by Blair the Flair. We'll be getting into that. Tyson Fury just lost a fight with a lamppost. It's tough out there. You guys are mean to poor Tyson, man.
The internet always wins.
Late. Tyson can't handle the fact that he was beaten by a middleweight. Okay, I was 120 seconds late. Did you die? Did something happen?
Oh man. Listen,
Okay.
I wish Lex was just 120 seconds late, so you're doing fine, Tone. And it's his birthday. He had to blow out some candles, man. Give the guy a break.
Thank you. Certain man patrolling the mean streets of Peckham. Right. Wagon people them. Base is free. Yeah, Base has got a day off. I mean, you know, I like to say a couple of days because we didn't see him on Monday Night Smoke last night either. So thank you, Base, for setting up the stream for me today. As I said last week, I do all the other stuff behind the scenes, the content, but there wasn't much to do this week, so it was a nice, easy one. But while Base is away, the Saudi flex are run. Yes, sir. Danny was in Craig's corner. Can we please get a breakdown from him about his perspective of the fight? Absolutely. So, and lastly, just seen jumping in, Bigsy Biggs, big up yourself, indeed. If a surgeon was late because it was his birthday, someone would die. Oh, Lord, untraceable, you're out of order. I'm going to have to get some cards around here, start giving out yellow and red cards. But, yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So we'll start off with, in chronological order, as people have already started mentioning, poor Adrien Broner. We'll start talking with that because that was the first fight of the weekend on a card that was stacked full of fights. I think I counted 15 fights on that card. And
yeah.
In all honesty, a card of 15 fights where you lose the main event, I can't even think who the main event was due to be, but it ended up being Broner versus Cobbs, is kind of just not a great card when you think about it. But, you know, the thing that I was thinking when this was being announced and when this fight was coming together was, you know, this guy, he just did not look in the best of shape. As you can see, when you're in that kind of shape, two months before a fight or even less, and you've got to come down, you ain't spending your time working on craft. You are trying your utmost to get to the weight. And when you're doing that, instead of working on the craft, it's a huge problem. The other thing with that is, you know, look, the guy clearly doesn't look after himself in between fights, but not only does he do that, he doesn't fight regularly. This was he's fought twice in 5 years. He had a fight in 23 and one in 21, I think it was. And the fight before that was in 2019. So, you know, not the greatest of positions to start yourself off when you've had a, you know, 2-year hiatus from the game. You've let yourself go. You've had your issues outside of the ring. And then you come into camp. You're not really looking great. Your mind's probably not in the greatest place. But then you come into the fight with Blair Cobbs, who is, you know, he's not setting the world on fire in the division. You know, it's a decent test. And if you really think you are going to do anything, then you have to think you should be able to beat a guy like Blair Cobbs. But it was rather entertaining. There were some entertaining moments in the prelim to this fight. I don't know if you saw it, Dan.
Yeah, I saw it. I posted it on Fight Fan. It was actually the first time I'd seen Adrien Broner actually get out hustled in the war of words at the press conferences and stuff like that. When Blair Cobbs, he brought like a puppet and he was mocking Adrien Broner. I could see Adrien was getting a bit annoyed because he's used to being the class clown. You know, he's very fast with his words. He's not a guy I would really want to mess with in a cussing match because he's very good with the words and very fast-witted. But Blair, because he's so weird, he was just rambling on, and he came with some good little punchlines and stuff like that for Adrien. So that was interesting to see. So that was something new that Adrien Broner had to deal with. But yeah, as you said, Adrien came into the camp out of shape. So he had to do basically a fat camp rather than work on his craft and sharpen on his skills, because you could see in there, he had the moves, but the timing was off, the speed was off. the punch placement, it took him about 7 rounds to finally start getting his punches off and accuracy to warm up, because most of his camp would have been losing weight. You could see he was, going for these long runs in sweatsuits and stuff like that. You could see he was, and he obviously had to make the weight limit, because there was even the poster Don King produced said, Adrien Broner versus Blair Cobbs if Adrien Broner shows up. So there was even doubt as to whether he'd even make the fight. So coming into the fight now, we're going to talk about the fight now. The first round was, just Blair Cobbs was using activity. The second round is when, as you see, Blair Cobbs has stepped over from his southpaw stance, hit Broner with a arching left cross, which has caught Broner square. And he's tried to jab. You see him there. He's tried to counter with a counter hook, but he's squared up, and he's got caught more off balance. But obviously, he's a big shot as well, and he's gone down bad on his arm. He reckons he fractured his elbow and dislocated his shoulder. I don't think he did, but he definitely would have injured it, because he went down bad with all his weight on that arm. And from there, he lost a tooth as well, which someone picked up for him. And you saw a picture of him afterwards. He looked a bit like someone on Skid Row. Oh, look at that. My God. Air Jordans, boy. So yeah, that didn't go well. Then Blair just used activity, popping him up, touching him, 1-2s, head and body. Blair the Fair Clubs won the first, I'd say, 5 rounds on the trot, and with a 10-8 round in there in the second. Then Broner, I gave Broner the 6th. I gave Broner the 7th. I think the 8th as well. And then I gave Blair, I gave Blair the 9th and Broner the 10th. So that's why I had it 96-93, which, funny enough, was the same card as two of the judges.
Yeah.
I gave Broner 4 rounds, but obviously with the point off as well, otherwise it'd have been 96-94, but with the knockdown as well, 96-93. But that's because it took him till the 6th round to get going, because the first 5 he was just getting popped up, man. He's getting popped up bad. So yeah, Broner, his best bet, if he is going to take this seriously, he has to get out very soon, like stay active. It's a shame, because I do really think, had he have not made that 2-weight jump from 135 to 147 to fight Paulie, who he saw as an easy target at 147, and he'd done 140, I think he could have, kept that momentum going as a dominant force, as he was at 130 and 135, and then would have done 140 and done the business. But when he jumped up 2 weights, he just about got through Paulie, and then he ultimately got beat by Madonna, and it kind of just went down from there. But that's when, after he'd done that Raptor, and his mind was just totally off the ball. You've seen he hasn't really been looking after himself. Lately he's most known for having arguments with the new AB in town, Alicia Baumgardner. So yeah, that one, I'm sure she would have been laughing indoors. So yeah, I just hope there's some people around him who can just keep it a buck with him tonight, because I remember after the fight, I see him saying, "Oh, he didn't beat me," and then Ellie Setback was following with the camera, just like proper like bum licking him, like, "Oh, you look good, champ. Oh, you look great in there, man. Hey, Adrien." I'm thinking, mate, Ellie, like, is your media accreditation is it that bad for your son? Like, you really gotta really bread it with these brothers. Like, it's getting the interview with these guys and not losing access. Like, is it that hard out here now for you? Like, you're really, like, come on, you need to be honest with these fighters. Furthermore, don't even say nothing. Just film if you got to film and get something, but don't start doing all that. You look great in there and basically telling him you think he won too. Like, muggy. Oh, well, it wouldn't be a breakdown without a Tony special interruption. So yeah, take it away, Tone.
Yeah, so as you can see, he posted a little clip from the hospital saying elbow fractured, shoulder torn. Obviously, tooth broken. He must have felt every bit of his, was he 36?
34.
34. You know, I can testify as you get older, you know, those little aches and pains, they become harder and harder to deal with. I couldn't help but think, like, that's just not an attractive picture, bro.
Skid Row.
Considering that this was the guy that was taking out everybody's girl, Paul Imaginali, I got your girl. You know, he was the can man. Anyone can get it. It's like he just doesn't look and feel anything like that anymore. And you know, it's funny because essentially we've got 2 weekends in a row where we've seen a fighter who was once heralded come back and look very, very poor in comparison to where they were in their prime. Of course, I'm talking about Deontay Wilder last week and Adrien Broner this week. And essentially, both fighters have to reflect on what they've done over the weekend and say to themselves, look, I've made some money. I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder's okay, although he's now facing legal battle with his wife. Broner, I don't think has been probably clever with his money. He looks like the kind of guy that probably needs to continue boxing for the sake of being able to pay the mortgage. But I would hope he might have something where, you know what, I might have something that will look after me for the rest of my days. I hope he's got something like that, or somebody has helped him in that regard, because that's the one thing that boxers have always been guilty of. The one thing that sports people in general have been guilty of is wasting away money that they've earned in their sports life. And obviously that sports career doesn't last until your 50s and 60s, like some boxers do. It's normally done by your mid-30s. So hopefully he's, you know, in a position to look at himself and go, do I actually need to do this anymore? Because when we look at the landscape in a division that he should be fighting at 147, let's be honest. And it's just a division full of killers that, you know, ultimately he doesn't belong in. And I don't want to see him hurt. So, yeah, AB needs to retire, as Dan the Man says. Base said it best. AB was washed 5 to 7 years ago. Probably not too far wrong there, Alex. Does anyone remember AB doing the money dance before the Maidana fight? Yes, I do.
I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. Yeah, I remember that. But now,
Yeah.
AB, you know, he was the man with the waves, comb my hair. I took your belt and your girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, he had a change of camp midway through. So he went from one camp, training camp, to working with a completely different camp, which was with, is it Kenny Ellis?
No, because remember, his coach actually passed away.
Oh.
That's why.
So
remember the big guy? So he ended up moving. Yeah, he passed
so he
away.
ended up with Calvin Ford, working with Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah.
So yeah, that all of that can't have helped him. And as far as the scoring of the fight goes, you know, I think your scoring was quite generous. I didn't give Broner around till round 9.
Wow.
And that was just, I looked at like what he was doing. And the thing that was clear to me is footwork gone. Footwork completely gone. What he's doing now is arm punches. You know, he's literally standing up, shuffling a little bit forwards, getting into range, and then throwing the punch. Now, you know, just doing that does not generate anything unless you put the shoulder in and you swivel the hip. Yeah, he's not doing that. He's throwing some looping shots, but he's not twisting at the waist. He's not getting any torque on his shots. So essentially, he's being outworked by a guy who's moving his feet. He's in and out. And unless you can match that foot movement, your shots are going to fall short, which is what was going on, at least for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Blair Cobbs, for the first 6 rounds, barely got touched.
And what Adrien was walking in with straight legs, no bend in the knees, so you can't even generate power when you're throwing shots with straight legs.
Yeah.
And you're not even balanced. Hence, he got dropped, squared up, straight knees.
Yeah, absolutely. Zero head movement. I've noted that again.
But he's always had bad head movement.
Yeah, round 4, Cobbs came out and he just threw jabs. He was just like, okay, I'm going to take a rest now. And all he did was threw jabs. And he threw 8 jabs. Not all together, but just constant. Bam, 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 bam. Move, bam, boom, bam. And I was counting it. It was like 1, 2, 3, and got to 8 before Adrien even thought, oh, I better move my head or I better counter. Now, if a guy uses a jab twice, 3 times, he isn't getting that jab in without me doing something, because I've got to know I can read that. As a boxer, what you're looking to do is you're trying to read habits of boxers. So if a guy does a jab and he's going to throw another jab, okay, read it. Slip the first jab, bam, counter with your own right hook or whatever. Yeah, he was doing absolutely nothing like that to show that I am reading, I'm taking data in. Like we often say about Canelo, he'll give a couple of rounds so that he can work out the timings of a fighter. Nothing. What other notes have I missed? Round 6, Cobbs' intensity dropped. But it was at that point that Broner started getting to hit Cobb, because Cobb's work rate went down. And the intensity, where he was throwing some really hard shots in those early rounds with a lot of zip, that declined. And it was only because of that Adrien Broner was able to get any kind of success. But he was still getting outworked. Again, round 7, I've just written Broner work rate is just too slow. Awful footwork. So yeah, overall, a very poor performance by Adrien Broner. And yeah, as I said, he's now got to look at himself and say, do I want to go through another 3-month camp? What weight do I want to fight at? Who am I going to work with that's going to get the best out of me? Because clearly, you cannot go into a fight at the starting position he started at, letting yourself go, blowing up in weight, and he clearly blows up.
Yeah,
but he struggles to get that weight off.
No, but you can see he's a drinker. Remember, it wasn't too long ago he was on that podcast where he was wasted, where they even had to take it down because the boxing fraternity got onto that podcast and said, like, how can you put this out, just to get some views? Like he was gone on there. Like he was slurring his words. He was emotional. Because he was in a bad place. So yeah, he's a big drinker. That seems like his main poison of choice or vices. So, and when you drink a lot, it deteriorates, this is why you will pick up injuries a lot quicker. Your knees will go, your hips will go where you can't turn them so much. It's just good that he's got quite a thick neck, so he's able to take a good punch still. But yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. He got lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? Do you remember that song back in the day? Don't let it go to your head, no.
Yeah.
Don't let it go to your head, no. Come on. So yeah, and that's
big time
what
tune. Big time tune.
So yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so that kind of sums up that one. Let's move on, shall we? On that bill, was Michael the Bounty Hunter fighting a guy called Cassius Chaney.
Yeah, Cassius Chaney. He basically retired. What's his name? Trevor Bryant last time out. Good performance. But I'll tell you what. Well, you want to go first or me?
I'll let you do the honors because that was just a one-sided beatdown. But I actually want to, before we get into that fight, I want to talk about what the hell has Michael Hunter done for the last year, because as you know, I like to do a little bit of research about each fight and each fighter. And it suddenly dawned on me, like, where the hell has Michael Hunter been? And then I heard it said he's been doing this Team Combat League. And I'm like, what the hell is Team Combat League? So if you don't know, people, Michael Hunter has been doing this thing called Team Combat League. It looks like this. This is this TCL. And basically, they'll have 5 guys from Houston against 5 guys from San Antonio. Yeah, that's a typical thing. It might be less, it might be more. But essentially, everyone fights their opponent over 1 round. That's all it is, 1 round. So it's really weird because I was like, wow, how the hell has Michael Hunter got this TCL record? So here's his TCL record. And as you can see, his first one was in April 23, and he's had 11 bouts. But they're all 1 round, as you can see. He lost a split decision to Devon Young, and then he rematched him. Well, they obviously fought a second time in the same venue because that was on the same date. So he won the second fight against Devon. He's actually fought him 4 times and lost once, won 3. Interesting name on that is his ex-trainer's son. Did you know that?
Yeah,
so
Hassim Rahman
Michael
Jr.
Hunter was trained by Hassim Rahman, and he was fighting his trainer's son on this TCL. Crazy. Anyway, so
but
yeah, that's where.
Well, another fighter. Do you remember Conor Benn's last opponent? He, the American dude with the bald head. He's done that TCL stuff as well.
So it's been interesting to kind of, because I actually went to see if I could find some of the footage of the TCL, and I did see one. I got to see one of him where he stopped his fella in the first round. It seems an interesting concept, like 1 round, off you go. You know, you do all the ring walk and the music, and you've only got 1 round. What the hell? Well, at least you guaranteed action. It's not like you got to, bide your time. You ain't got time. You got 1 round.
Yeah,
so,
there ain't no time to download data.
so one day we might have to have a look at some of that and see if we can if we like the concept of the TCL league. But,
I might be up for a fight of that. I got around him here.
Oh dear. So what you represent in Lewisham Borough, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Southeast London.
That's me, you, and Base representing Lewisham Borough. Okay, so there's a super chat coming from Alexander. Thank you, Alexander, $4.99. Michael Hunter, I also find you to be an absolute disgrace. Where the hell have you been? You've done nothing of note since the draw with Povetkin. Yeah, bar calling out all and sundry, because I don't know if you've noticed, but last week he was calling out Usyk. So, it's been an interesting last 24 hours, me looking into the last few weeks, months, years of Michael Hunter, because he's somewhat of a different character. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, as far as this fight was concerned about with Cassius Chaney on the Don King promotion, this was just like such a one-sided fight. Dan, do you want to take it from here?
Do you know what? I'm not even going to lie. I actually fell asleep after about round 3. One, I was tired, but 2, the fight was so boring to me. Like, these highlights, I don't know why they look like. You've obviously picked some really good bits, but to me, I remember the fight was so boring. I actually fell asleep, and I woke up during the ring walk of Adrien Broner. So it was literally a little nap, but it's because I think I heard Rick Ross because he walked out Broner. But yeah, Michael Hunter was just out working Cheney. Cheney, I don't know what happened, because when he fought Trevor Bryant, for those who saw that was this year. It weren't even long ago. He was, coming forward, putting his punches together, really looking like a force. I was putting him in there as like, yeah, this guy will be a good fight for this person and that person going forward. Because he put Bryant in the hospital. And here, I don't know what happened. But Michael Hunter's not the guy he was. He hasn't got any bounties as of late. You know what I mean? But yeah, he obviously made the most of what he could do with this guy, because this guy was just there on the ropes as a heavy bag.
Yeah, it was like glorified sparring where one guy didn't even turn up. As you saw, a lot of body shots. That was basically the tune of the fight, and it ended up as 100-90 for Michael Hunter. I think one judge gave it 99-91. God knows where that one round came, but hey, it was a mercy round given. So yeah, interesting that Michael Hunter is, as I said, a bit of a strange guy, because he has been at some points in his time talked about as potentially, able to join the contenders. Mm-hmm. But he's never quite lived up to the promise of what we saw early in his career. And, is it still to come? Is he still got it in the tank to be able to do so? If you're fighting one-round battles, then you should have quite a bit left in the tank. I don't think I've seen him in a real fight where he's at the dig too deep. He's had some good fights. Let's not doubt that. But not where he's sprawling away around the ring and he's 12 rounds deep and still going at it tooth and nail. So yeah, I don't know what he's really got left and how that's going to affect him going forward. But it'll be interesting to see what becomes of him after that. Obviously, activity needs to come back in the 10 to 12 round game. You ain't gonna keep yourself in shape if you keep doing one rounders, even if you do 11 of them in 1 year.
Yeah.
Anything further on that?
Nah, it wasn't really a fight I enjoyed. Well, I fell asleep. So
yeah.
It moves on.
Okay, so then that just leaves us to talk about the top rank card on Saturday night, which took place in the main arena, I think it was, in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Headlined by Zander Zayas against Tixer. Briefly, before I talk about that one, though, I want to talk about the undercard, which was
Bruce Carrington.
Bruce Shushu Carrington. Now, I'm a bit confused. Is Bruce Carrington got Puerto Rican in him?
That's what I was confused about, because he wore the poncho thing afterwards with the flag on it.
Yeah.
I was like, that don't sound really Puerto Rican. But then,
and on the day after, they were at the Puerto Rican celebration, and you can see on his T-shirt is the Puerto Rican flag. I know it looks like an American flag, but it's actually the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah.
So something tells me he's got Puerto Rican in him, because the card was headlined as the Puerto Rican Day Parade card. They made a lot of references to great Puerto Ricans who have boxed at the Square Garden, including Hector Camacho, Miguel Cotto, Wilfredo Benitez, Amanda Serrano, Felix Trinidad, you know, all famous fighters who fought multiple times at Madison Square Garden. And of course, the East Coast has got its fair share of Puerto Ricans in attendance. So it was a big event for the Puerto Rican community. They came out en masse. They showed their support for Shushu. And then, of course, their main event in Zander Zayas. Now, the Shushu Carrington fight, he was in against, get this right, De Gracia, whose first name I don't get. But essentially, there they are at the weigh-in. And we got a little bit of action. That's the only action I can get ringside of Shushu doing work. And as you can see, picking his shots as per normal. A very heavy-handed young man. A very heavy-handed young man at featherweight. He's got an impressive record. It's very much, you know, one of Top Rank's favorites. And once again, he was able to finish the job on the night early to again showcase his amazing skills. I'm just looking at his box rec. There's no reference about Puerto Rico. He's a Brooklyn-born native, born there, still lives there.
Yeah, might be one parent, maybe his mum.
Parent, yeah, or a grandparent,
or a grandparent, because the Carringtons obviously might be FBA, but because that's not really a Puerto Rican name, is it? But they're probably half. And remember, Brooklyn, New York, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans out there. You know, New York is a very Puerto Rican heavy city, so it's not like he lives in Milwaukee. Then I'd be like, hold on a minute, sunshine. Like New York, he can't fake the funk saying he's Puerto Rican. He'll get found out pretty quickly. So he must have a connection there. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's got pictures of himself going Puerto Rican Day Parade as a youth. So just like Shakur Stevenson, he's half Puerto Rican as well. So yeah, man, it's good to see he's repping. So yeah, that first knockdown you saw when he hit him with the looping hook against De Gracia, that was in the third round. Because the first round he hit him, he come out, landed a nice double hook. The second round he landed a good barrage of blows. He got caught himself in there, but he managed to come back. The way he punches it, I don't know, and his body frame, it kind of reminds me a bit of Terence Crawford. Is that kind of skinny, languid, but he's not that tall type thing. As you can see there, he loops it over. It should come any second now. I think that was in the third round. Yeah. And then afterwards he just dominated, had him against the ropes in the eighth, hit him with a barrage of shots, and the ref had to jump in the end. That was in the eighth round finally. I think, well, not sure what round that one. That might have been the eighth before the stoppage. Yeah, before the stoppage. Yeah, this was the barrage when the ref jumped in the eighth round. It was a 10-rounder, so he was late for him, a late stoppage. So yeah, man, he looked good. Gets hit a couple of times, but hey, you need that. You need someone who's a bit live and can give you some rounds and also let you know that you're in a fight. So he put on a spectacular performance for the crowd. The Puerto Ricans, I noticed every time through the interval between rounds, they're putting on a different Puerto Rican song with Puerto Rican reference. Hey, Puerto Rico, I don't need I say that name is crazy. Even though you play a hit, we still make it to the top. You know what I mean? Man, like Big Pun and them, man. Yeah, so they're putting on some bangers. They were putting on some bangers throughout the night. So I like that. I like that atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, the New Yorkers, they do know how to be a very lively crowd. Obviously, I've been there several times to see boxing, and yeah, you know, that Puerto Rican crowd, they must have been very, very vocal, because you know it's kind of tribal in New York. So you know, when you get your Brooklyners fighting in Brooklyn, like, you know, obviously Mike Tyson was a Brooklyn guy. You know, you get the whole of Brooklyn turn out, you know, the whole block. So they make it a big thing, you know. So yeah, that must have been a very interesting one. As Alexander says, the double hook combo was fire from Shushu. And you know, look, we've been hot on Shushu Carrington for a little while. You know, he's definitely explosive with his power. You know, he's now got 8 knockouts in his 12 fights. You know, continues to be a crowd pleaser. You know, because he is willing to take a shot. You know, he's one of them guys who shells up well, and then he knows, like, I'm going to take this shot on the pad here, but you're going to receive the uppercut and hook straight after it, you know. So I like his style. He's languid, but he fixes, he selects very good shots, and he counters very well, you know, counters extremely well. And he shows both ability to box on the front and the back foot, you know, uses good footwork. So like you said, you know, you could see similarities to a young Terence Crawford. I could agree with you on that one. Danny breaking out the tunes tonight. Well, you know, if you haven't heard the boy Danny sing, then why? You're missing a thing, because he's got vocals. He's got vocals. I don't know if you guys have seen KG's tune, by the way. Have you seen that, Dan?
Nah, but I know he can sing though.
Okay, you know, he's done a song. He's actually gone in a studio, recorded a song with a video. Yeah.
Oh no, I've seen it.
With expressions, yeah.
Yeah, with the purple kind of light. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. It's good.
So there's great singing prowess on the Undefeated channel, and let's not get it, you know, let's not make it. I can hold a tune, you know, I got a note in me. What's the name of the song? I don't know, Alexander, but if you look up KG and expressions on YouTube, it has got a video of its own, and it's about my football team. The song is about football, and it's about Arsenal's inability to win the championship this year because we were pipped at the final post by Manchester City.
Yeah, and expressions is just with an X, no E at the beginning, because it's the social media influencer who's like a football proper fanatic called Expressions, which some of you might be familiar with in the football scene. He's a bit like Troops, a bit like him. So yeah.
In fact, it's called Title's Gone, and it's on a channel called DR Sports. So I'm going to give you a little snippet of it just to warm your atmosphere, to warm up your cockles this evening.
Oh my.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta talk to these Arsenal fans, you know what I'm saying? Arsenal lost. That's right, they lost. You know, you gotta do that thing when you just laugh for no reason. Lost again. It's been 20 years. Ain't finishing. Yeah. Bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry. Ain't finishing. Ain't enough. Had it in your hands. Had it in your hands. Still ain't finishing. Now the title is gone, you know it's gone, you ain't
I can't take it anymore. He's got the cheek of the guy. He's gone to my club's ground outside their football stadium and then done a diss track on them. The disgrace.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh.
So yeah, man.
It's a banger, says Trevor OJ. Big up yourself, Trevor. So yeah, that's that. So we talked about Shushu Carrington. Alexander says, Tony, you have to punch KG up for that one. Trust me, I'm gonna get my revenge. Don't you worry. I'm gonna get my revenge. Anyway, let's move on. So the main event of the top rank card was obviously
Zander
Zayas
versus Patrick Tixer.
I've got no video because there was nothing uploaded anywhere about it. So literally just got a few bits of stills. The one thing that I think you'll notice in the first picture that comes up is how skinny and reserved Patrick Tixer looks. He's extremely slim. Now, that's interesting because I noted that they're fighting at 160, obviously the middleweight limit. But his last fight, he came in at 169.
That's interesting.
So he was actually coming down significantly in weight. I think his last two fights prior to this one have been significantly higher weights than coming down to a 160 limit. But essentially, like pretty much the same story that we talked about with Shushu Carrington was exactly what we saw with the Zander Zayas fight, because essentially this was a one-sided beatdown. Tixer had little moments, you know, there were bits where he's like showing bolo shots and, you know, he's trying to entertain the crowd. You could see he's trying a thing, but ultimately he's way overmatched, way overmatched. And Zander Zayas, who is like the golden child, obviously, for Bob Arum. 21 years old. He was fighting Tixer, who's 33 years old. 18-0. This was for the NABF and the NABO title. And there was some other titles. So eventually there was 3 belts involved. Tixer came in with a record of 34 wins from 38 fights, 4 defeats, no draws. But essentially, it was just Zander Zayas using good footwork and a good assortment of punching to defeat Tixer. You know, there were rounds, I think round 8 and 9, where it looked like potentially Zayas might be able to close the show as he stepped on the gas. But Tixer, obviously, for 34 fights and at his age, was able to show that, you know, he's got some resistance still in him. And he was able to resist getting dropped by Zayas despite taking some full shots on the chin from Zayas as he searched for that, you know, that finish towards the end of the fight. So the judges' scorecards read 100 to 90 times 2 and 99 to 91 times 1. As far as round by round, you know, every round just seemed to be the same, but just a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little bit faster, a little bit harder. As you could see, Zayas just building momentum through the 10 rounds. Dan, your feelings about the fight?
Yeah, it was a great entrance by Zander Zayas coming down the stairs. You know, even the ring announcement, you know, he's really jumping up. It looked like a computer game. He was like really animated. You know, I mean, he's saying the words with the ring announcer. The first round, he's come out, he's hit Tixer with a left hook right uppercut, and that right uppercut kind of like jolted Tixer up, which kind of, I think, from there, it kind of made him sort of tentative and shut up shop and kind of go on the defense a lot. Tixer, he's a former 154-pound light middleweight champion. He lost his title to Brian Castano who Brian Castano, as you know, had those 2 great battles with Jamel Charlo a couple of years ago. But yeah, after that, it was like, yeah, it was a bit of the same, you know. Zander Zayas hitting him with the, you know, 1-2 left hook, decent jabs, but Tixer was on the back foot for most of the fight. In the 8th round, I know you're saying you felt that Zayas looked like he could have closed the show. I don't think he was. He hit him with a big right uppercut and then a right hook, and obviously the crowd went wild, innit? So obviously Zayas has now got energized and started throwing a bunch of punches, but I don't think Patrick was actually really hurt. It was just a good couple of shots that landed flush, and then Zayas started letting off some shots. But Tixer, he's never wobbled. He's never really hurt. But it was a good round. It was a big round because he let off a lot of good shots, and it was landing through the target and stuff like that. And yeah, Patrick, a couple of times he'd throw a decent hook or a little bolo punch just to let a man know he's still in there. Do you know what I mean? But after that, it was really one-sided. So the 100 to 90, them scorecards, it was correct. I didn't give Patrick a round, but yeah, you know, Zayas, he was known, especially early in his career, knocking out everything that moves. But as you move through the levels, you then start fighting people who are more durable, able to take your shots, and then as he goes up through the levels more, you know, people be catch countering, firing back, and stuff like that. But yeah, decent performance by Zayas. You know, he's a nice, a good Puerto Rican addition to the top ranked stable. You know, you got the likes of, you know, other Puerto Rican fighters on other stables, like Edgar Belanga. You know, you've got Sabril Mateus. Yeah, you've got Shushu Carrington, Bruce Carrington, Shakur Stevenson. So there's a nice little plethora of Puerto Rican fighters. You know, I noticed they have a lot of you know, the historical rivalry with Mexican fighters, you know, their neighbors, the Dominican fighters and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good time to be Puerto Rican, and they was in the big room. They weren't in the Hulu theater. They was in the big room. So that's a good look for Zander Zayas. That shows that's good profile. You know what I mean? And the place looked full, enough flags. So that's a good look, because the last guy who was really doing that, packing it out, was Miguel Cotto. Do you know what I mean? Puerto Rican Day Parade, that was his room. Like, that was definitely hired out for him every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So as you can see by the punch stats there, power punches, 38% by Zander Zayas, 19% by Tixer. You know, you can see the punches thrown. Well, funny enough, Zayas didn't throw that many more. But he landed total thrown, he threw double, and he's landed 40, 80, 120, 160, more than quadruple. Patrick only landed 41. You know, Zayas has landed 177. This is just crazy numbers, really. But yeah, the CompuBox is very interesting. So it kind of tells you the story. It was one-sided, really, weren't it? Only one man was really trying to fight for the most part. The other one was more trying to on survival mode. But I think he came out with intention, but once he got caught with that left hook right uppercut, I think he thought, oh, and that kind of put him under manners early doors.
Yeah. Cool. I got one other subject that I wanted to talk about before we revert to talking about last weekend, or the weekend before rather, and that was this guy. Let me find the picture.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I mean, those of you who know me, I'm a tailor as well as my teaching profession. So tailoring is my thing. And this guy, this is as unattractive a look that, you know, if that's my granddad, I'm saying, granddad, you can't wear that. There's something wrong. The jacket is terrible. And on the day of the fight, he wore a jean jacket, like the worst jean jacket I could ever imagine. Now, we've all known about the exuberant hair. We can live with that. Don's signature haircut, you know, he's had it from the 50s. That's his thing. I ain't got a problem with the hair. And obviously, you know, look, the guy's 92 years old. somebody in his family needs to say, Don, take a seat. Let your son run the show. Because you really, you don't need to be the face of Don King Promotions anymore. I really don't get it. Somebody in his family needs to go and say, Granddad, pass the torch, please.
You see that jacket? I think that jacket was probably from about 20, 30 years ago when he was a bit broader and a bit bigger, when he had more size to him. And obviously, as he's got older, he's kind of shrunken inwards. So as you can see, the jacket's too big for him now. And someone hasn't either, tapered it in or got him a new piece. But he's got the money. But some older people, they hold on to things for sentimental value. But still, you need to just put it in one of those, put it in a frame as memorabilia. And hit up, go down Taylor's Row and get you some new threads.
Damn right. I'll do you all your bells and whistles, Don, but have the jacket at least fit you, bro. God damn. Don won't pass nothing off. He is too much of a narcissist to let anyone else take the helm. So he'll keep going until he dies. Well, why? Yeah.
That word gets thrown around a bit too much for my liking. Everyone ain't a narcissist. Calm down, guys. Calm down.
Oh dear. So yeah, that's this weekend's boxing accounted for. Unless anybody wants to tell us about anything that we missed, because we are appreciative of our audience, are very knowledgeable on their boxing, and you might have watched some more of the top ranked card that we might have missed something. Or Dan, if you know anything that I missed.
Nah, I think we've covered
I
all
know
the
Jahai Tucker was on there. He's another fighter I look at.
Yeah, I think he won on points, He was early on the card.
Okay.
He was early on the card. He won I think a UD.
Okay. So yeah, that's us for that. Now let's talk about Saudi. And as I said, guys, if you have any questions about Saudi, I know there was this huge thing early in the week from Carl Froch saying, "Oh, there was no atmosphere, and I don't know why we're taking the fights to Saudi." I'm probably paraphrasing him a little bit incorrectly, but I got the gist being, these fight cards don't belong in Saudi. The atmosphere is inappropriate. To which I was instantly saying, "Nah, you've got to understand the landscape of boxing. It's changing, and because a fight doesn't take place in the bare-swilled confines of a British stadium or a British arena, doesn't mean to say that it's the wrong place or the wrong atmosphere for a boxing event. I luckily have been around the world, made it my thing to go around the world and see boxing in different parts of the world. And I go to the Far East, I've seen boxing in the Far East. I've gone to Africa, I've looked to see where's there a local boxing card, I go see it, or a football match, go see it. So I enjoy sport. I love sport in different countries, and I recognize different countries have different ways of having their sports and celebrating or intermingling. Look, in our football stadiums in the UK, we have separated crowds. Yeah, you can't have Millwall in the same section as West Ham. You can't have Tottenham in the same section as Arsenal. You can't have Man City in the same section as Man United. Go to America, everybody's sitting amongst everybody. It don't matter. They don't have that kind of madness going on. And believe it or not, they can actually go to a stadium and have beer brought to them in the stadium. Yeah. There's a woman and a man walking around in the stand with loads of pints of beer. okay, anyone want a beer? And then you go, yeah, this guy up there, 12 rows up. And then he passed the beer, and everybody passed the beer up to that guy, and he passed the money down.
Yeah. I've been in these arenas where, they got the beer, they got the peanuts, they've got the popcorn, and they walk around, and it's seated service. You don't have to go. So and that keeps the crowd in the arena. They're not all in the concourse. So this is what I want to say, Carl Froch, and the rest of you guys talking about the Saudi card and all that type of stuff. All right, so you're talking about this British atmosphere, but let's keep it a buck tonight. That British atmosphere only comes around come 9:30 for the Chief support, and then after the Chief support, you sing Sweet Caroline, and then the main event goes on. During the rest of the card, all the undercard, you lot are in the concourses, drinking beer, snorting sniff, and doing all the rest of it. Or you ain't even turned up to the venue yet. Because most of these people who are the raucous crowd, they're not really boxing fans. They're just football fans who just want a night out and watch a bit of a punch-up after watching their football earlier in the afternoon. So these guys, they're not there for the whole card, unlike people in America or Japan or in Saudi Arabia. So let's not act like that this crowd is there from 6 p.m. going bonkers from the 4-rounders, because they're not. You can hear the pin drop in those 4-rounders, the 6-rounders, the 8-rounders. Do you know what I mean? Some of the English level title fights, Southern area, Central area, British title fights even. I've even seen some world title fights get no shine because they're a bit lower on in the card. It's only when it comes to the Chief support just about, and then the main event where you start getting the noise, or when the Sweet Caroline and all that comes on. But other than that, the atmosphere ain't really popping like that. I've been around the UK and I've been international. So let's keep it a buck. Yeah. When you go to Mexico now, from early doors in the card, the crowd are seated. The crowd are going wild. The crowd are going nuts. Puerto Rican, you saw this card. They were jumping from the jump. Early doors. They weren't waiting until the Chief support and the main event. So when you go to Saudi Arabia, they're not jumping around throwing pints over everyone and lobbing beers and coins in the ring and having punch-ups and going mad, because they're more reserved. They're more reserved people in general, respectful, hospitable, lovely people. When something's going, when someone lands a good shot, they clap and cheer, but they're not going mad. And do you know why I liked it? When I was watching the fights afterwards, when I was watching the fights in the crowd, I was near kind of near Tony. So when someone does land a big shot or drop somebody, they'll clap and stuff like that. But guess what? Especially on those for floor seats, because remember, me and Tony, we ain't no 6'5"ers. Now, when you're in a British show and you're on floor seats, unless you're ringside, as soon as someone lands a jab, everyone goes, oh, start standing on their chairs, standing up. You can't see nothing. You're just blocking your view, just messing up your whole night. When you're in Saudi now, everyone's in their seat. Everyone has more composure, more decorum, so you can actually enjoy it. Watch the fights on floor seats. You don't have to be right there on ringside like Daniel Dubois' dad. You can see all the fights. But in Britain, it's too rowdy. It's too OTT. Yeah, it might sound good on telly, but at the end of the day, ain't you here to watch good fights? Ain't we here to just watch good? Are you here for the fights, or are you here just to say, oh, we had a good crowd? Oh, it looked a bit lively. It looked like a right good, you know what I mean? Come on. You know what I mean? These are proper fights. So I'm applauding Saudi. The setup was great, very professional. The lighting, the production through fight week. Yeah, look at that. Look, that was my camera view. I got that. You see that? Look at that, and look, you can see I'm a good set of rows back. Look, see, everyone's got up. He's got a drop. Look, see, so people are getting happy. They're not just sitting there silent. So unless you go there, it's like with a lot of things. Don't let Western media or British media tell you something about a country until you go there, because once you go there, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Many people had probably a lot of reservations about Saudi Arabia. Oh, I'll never go there. Oh, if I just walk down the street and I say something wrong, I might be put in prison. But if you go there, you'll see these people are lovely people. There's a lot of rules and regulations there. I wish they would come and deploy that over here. I think we get the country in a better place. You know, so I do highly recommend you guys make your way to Saudi at some point, see a fight card, enjoy the country, go on a couple of excursions, go to a fight night. The production's great, the build-up's great, you know, grand arrivals, the Titantrons and everything. It's all very professional. There ain't no low budget business, it ain't no donking production business. This is high level quality. So yes, don't listen to the detractors. Some of the detractors are detracting because then their great nights are over. Listen, I love Carl Froch. Carl Froch was one of my favorite fighters. You know, he done the great thing at 80,000 Wembley. But there's other nights. What about when he fought Henry not Henry Brussels. He fought in America. The crowd weren't popping there. There's been many nights where the crowd weren't going ballistic like George Groves 1 and 2. You know, when he fought Robin Reed, the crowd weren't going that great. When he fought Brian McGee in York Hall, I was there. They weren't going that mad. You know, so you know, and when you go to America, the crowd ain't as loud as Britain. But just like if you go to Japan, because everyone celebrates and enjoys sports differently. It's just like if you watch golf, just like if you watch F1 in the UK and you watch F1 in Bahrain or Qatar. Those people are not going to be going as ballistic as the Brits because, you know, they're not drink and drug fueled. You know, they're not gassed with helium balloons in their system. So, but you're going to have a great night and you're getting quality boxing, quality matches that you want to see, whether you want to buy it on pay-per-view or whether you want to go there in person. But I do recommend you do go there in person because it's always good to travel the world and see the world. You learn a lot of things, geography-wise, knowledge-wise. Bring your children, very safe. Bring your missus, very safe at night. Yeah, it's a good experience and I highly recommend it. Take it away, Tom.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I can absolutely agree 100% with everything you just said. I thought it was an absolutely wonderful event. You know, yeah, I love the atmosphere at British shows. I do. I love that. But I'm worldly in that I have been around the world and I've seen sport in different places, as I said. And I appreciate customs. I appreciate, you know, different countries and the way that they organize their sporting events, whether it be cricket or rugby or boxing or football. You know, it's very interesting. You know, who was I listening to that had a good retort to this was Radio Rahim from Seconds Out. You know, I thought he worded it expertly as well when he said, you know, look, as a fan of American football, we've seen the NFL now become a world sport where it goes out to, you know, there are 3 or 4 matches in Europe, 3 in London, 1 in Germany. I was at one last year, Kansas City against the Miami Dolphins, which is my team, out in Frankfurt. And, you know, it's weird for Americans to go to a stadium and see every top of every, you know, team in the league. You know, imagine going to a Manchester United versus Man United game and seeing people in the crowd wearing Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Everton, Crystal Palace, Birmingham City, Aston Villa, all in the same crowd. You'd be like, what the hell are you doing here? And why are you wearing your colours? You know, this is a Manchester derby. You lot are not meant to be here, but that's what happens in American football. They come over, they bring their 2 teams in the venue, and everybody who likes American football, regardless of what you do, who you support, you turn up in your local kit. So there's a million people wearing a New York Giants cap because that's the most popular cap that you can buy. You know, and the 2 teams that neither of them is from New York.
Yeah.
You
True.
know, customs. That's just one of them things. It's just one of the things in life that you go, you know what? The people them are there to enjoy themselves. Let them enjoy themselves. Saudi Arabia has a lot to learn. It's building its clientele base.
Yeah, it's developing.
It's trying to enhance things for them. It's interesting because I've done quite a bit of research on Saudi Arabia, and Riyadh is very much more conservative than Jeddah. If they had done this event in Jeddah, might have been a bit different, because Jeddah has a lot more relaxed laws for Westerners. So if you're going to Saudi Arabia as a traveler, my research tells me go to Jeddah. You'll be able to sunbathe in more places. You'll be able to walk the street in more westernized clothes. You won't have to worry so much about things like you can't hold hands with your partner. Women, you know, are got more rights, so to speak. There's less, you know, restriction in Jeddah than there is in Riyadh. So, you know, look, they are getting there slowly. You know, it was only a few years ago that women got the right to drive. Just imagine that.
Yeah,
literally.
And they've done a few shows in Jeddah with Anthony Joshua. So they have done some in Jeddah and Riyadh. So yeah, you can if you, as Tony says, he's done a lot of research. So if Jeddah sounds like more a bit of you, try that out. But I would recommend doing both, just to see the experience, just to, you know, just to see what it's like.
Yeah. It was interesting going in a supermarket and seeing Heineken, a whole shelf of Heineken, and not one of them was alcoholic.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, wine. There was zero. When I went to the shisha joint, you know, I came out looking like the Sheikh of the South. You know what I mean? And they had champagne, prosecco, 0% alcohol. Yeah, man. But it's good when you go there. You can get your cedar honey. You can get your oud. You know what I mean? You get your beard oil. You know what I mean? Oil is that has no limits out there, so you can get that. You can get that oil, man. That beard oil, that oud oil. You get that camel milk. You know what I mean? You get a lot of stuff, man. It's good. It's good stuff. So I recommend you go out there, man, and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Camel riding, driving in the dune sands, quad biking. You know what I mean? There's a lot to do. You can see the end of the world. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Some of us don't need to drink and do drugs to want to have a good atmosphere. As my previous comment mentioned, we cannot pretend an atmosphere doesn't add to the event. Yeah, as I said, Bren, you know, I love going to football. I love the ability. You know what? I actually like two things. I like going to football, going to boxing, because the crowds are so partisan. You know, you can go in those crowds on your own. You don't have to go in with friends. You know, I can go to Arsenal and just go sit in my seat, and within 10 minutes of the match starting, I've got a whole bunch of friends, because everybody's going to be talking to me, you know. And the same goes for boxing. I love the boxing atmosphere. I love being amongst the boxing fraternity. You know, I think there's a camaraderie amongst boxing fans that not even football can match. Which is why I like going to small halls. You know, the York Hall shows. You know, they're different because you get in amongst them and you're close up to the ring, and you can literally talk to every person in the arena. You know, and the fighters are often, you know, loitering around in the crowd after or before their fight. So again, you get access to people. You know, my access to fighters, as many of you will have seen. You know, I took pictures with pretty much everybody on the night. You know, my access to, you know, both Frank and Eddie at the event was amazing. There's me and Dani at the actual fight. You know, there's Craig, myself and my missus, Nick Ball, Spencer Oliver, Anthony Joshua, Moses Itoma, the great Teddy Atlas.
Big pick, that one.
Yeah. Laura Sokoli. You know, I got them all.
Ben Davison, Darren Barker, Joseph Parker, man like Ade, you know what I mean? Barry Jones. Yeah, you're going in, man.
I was.
The bronze bomber. Yeah. No, Tony, you went in, man. You went in. But the access, you know what I mean? Everyone's more relaxed. No one ain't walking around with bodyguards. you know, everyone's just relaxed and feels, you know, cool because they know nothing's gonna pop out there. Because you know you gotta behave yourself, or you end up in Deera Square, brother. You end up in Deera Square. You know, I end up in Deera Square. So you just behave yourself and just enjoy the show.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, that's our summary of the weekend prior. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I know there was a question about Craig. I don't know if you
want to
deal
see
with
that review, by Terror. If you want to see that, I did that already on when I did the show with Bass, Maestro, and October Red. Yeah, I don't really need to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? It's my fighter at the end of the day. And yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It was a bad night at the office, and he'll be back. He knows what he needs to do, and he'll come good and rectify those mistakes. And yeah, I'm sure you'll hear from him soon, and you'll hear some news, you know, going forward and stuff like that. So yeah, man, you know, you see, we're here repping. You know what I mean? Got the merch. So yeah, man, we move, we working. Trust me.
Thank you for the happy birthday wish. Danny, did you get any wives out there?
No, you know. I was working, but you know, a couple of them, you know, they was looking at me through, you know, they was looking at me through the burkas and that. They saw, you know, they saw Big Savvy Sosa in my form, and my you know, my chic gear. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I didn't have no time. But if I go back there and I ain't working, you know what I mean? I might, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me. So yeah.
Danny had the full get-go on. I mean, he looked the part. Let's put it that way. The grey outfit with the white, that was point. That was on point.
Oh, thank you.
You had that nailed.
Yeah, thank you. I had a next one as well, but that was going to be for like the after party, but we didn't manage to do that one. So that one's going to be saved for the next one. I've got a next one because I had the white one, the traditional one, the white with the red thing. That was like the common one. Then obviously I'll bust out the grey drip with the white, and I've got a next one, but that will be saved for next time in Riyadh or Jeddah, whichever one. So yeah, man. But yeah, it was good stuff, man. It was good to see you out there. Good to see everyone, the supporters. There was about 40 people came out for Craig. You know what I mean? Thank you to everyone in the chat and those who continue to support Spider's journey and all the fighters on the card. Do you know what I mean? Whether you like Matchroom, Queensbury. If you're a fan of boxing, then you know what I mean? I'm a fan of you. So yeah, man. Thank you, everybody. And just let's roll.
Cool. So our next boxing is this weekend. Are you gonna be at the Crystal Palace Stadium?
Absolutely, it's my stadium, isn't it? It's my stadium.
It's your home turf. It's your home club turf. So yeah. As you know, that's a big card for boxer. They don't have many, but when they do, they try to get all their boys out. So a very good looking card by all imagination. You got Ben Whittaker on there. You got Isaac Chamberlain on there.
Yeah, Lynn fighting from my club. Richard Reactport from the Lynn as well. So we got some, you know what I mean, got some of my old stable mates up in there. You know, you got Chris Billam-Smith, you've got Ezra Arinyeka, you know, he's gonna look to make a splash against Ben Whittaker. You've got Devon Miller, he's fighting on the card. You've got Dan Aziz, local, Lewisham, went my school. So yeah, he's on the card as well. So yeah, man, it's a great card. So yeah, I'll be there. And I'll even be at the show the week after in Birmingham, the Tyler Denny versus Felix Cash at the World Resorts Arena. So yeah, man, I'm getting busy out here. I'm going to be trying to get you lot some more content. You know what I mean, for Fightfantvlive Live, and yeah, man, and enjoy the shows as well. Support my guy Tyler Denny, my guy up in Birmingham. I hope he defends his European title. But yeah, this Selhurst Park card is going to be really good. You know, first boxing show in Selhurst Park Stadium.
Okay.
Say less, Danny. I'll be at Sellers. Yeah, first show in Sellers Park, and in the summer they're going to close down and start their renovation because they're going to up the capacity another 10,000. So yeah, man, I'll see you there, Jam Down. I expect Muller's going to be there because anytime I do go Sellers Park, Muller's always in the same stand as me. He's a season ticket holder. He's hardcore Palace Muller. So yeah, ratings big him up every time. So yeah, man, if you see me down there, yes, if you see me down there, guys, come say hello to me, come holler at me. You know what I mean? Let's chop it up, grab a pic. You know what I mean? Introduce yourselves, because sometimes I need to put a face to a name. I know your names a lot, but sometimes the face is only if I go to, like, say Travis or KG's comedy nights and stuff like that. Then I start to, you know, familiarize myself with some of you. But so yeah, if you see me out, man, holler at me. You see me, I'm friendly. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, we're out here.
G-Chain, are you going to the boxing this weekend? I know Gary is a huge fan, and this is a guy that he gets about. I'll be interested to know if he's going to turn up. So yeah, we should be there on Saturday. I was kind of conflicted because I was due to be at the Herringay Box Club in the daytime. So I'm not sure, I might just miss that and then go on a Sunday instead. Well, I plan to do both days, to be honest. So I'll be Herringay Box Club Cup on Sunday, and I'll do Sellers Park on Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever you do on Sunday, make sure you enjoy, guys, because it is Father's Day this Sunday. So don't forget your old man out there. Yeah. So yeah, just a reminder.
Cool. So, anything else, Dan, or we've now gonna?
No, I think we've covered everything and a bit more. But it's been a good show, ain't it? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, man, I think it's been a good one. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you have a prosperous week. And yeah, man. And
Right.
Well done to Base for finally getting some annual leave.
Yeah, it's good. So guys, just in case you want to get us on our socials, you can get me, the Pugilistboy, on the YouTube, Pugilistboy on Twitter /X, but on Instagram it's Pugilistboy. And then for Danny, YouTube,
Fightfantvlive Live, Instagram Fightfantvlive Live, TikTok Fightfantvlive Live, Twittex Dani Glover FFTV. Yeah, that's about it, ain't it?
Yeah. So we got everything down on the thing except your TikTok. I didn't realize you'd gone into TikTok. Both Base and Danny are now got their official TikTok accounts up and running. I'm the oldest of the group, hitting a big 56 today, so I don't think TikTok is going to be my audience. But
it's not mine either. It's not mine either. But I've been told you just got to get trendy in it. You know, you just got to get trendy. I'm just doing this just to get the outreach. I am not a TikToker. I am too old for that. I am on MSN, Black Chat,
MySpace,
Bebo, MySpace, Bebo, High Five, Face Pick.
Oh my God, this guy. Anyway, these youngers. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much once again for joining us and staying with us for the hour and a half. It's been enjoyable. Don't forget, do subscribe to Danny's channel. Great contacts and great interviews over there. And no doubt we will be in touch again very soon. We're away next month together again. Paris for the Olympics.
Well, that's 2 months. Because I'll be there in August.
Next month, because we're in June. Oh, well, actually, yeah. It's just over a month, isn't it? Because
it starts in July, but I'll be there in August. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, take care. Have a good evening, and we will catch you on the next one.
It's Dani
Remember.
Glover. It's Tony Pugilist. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.